You need to be precise, because precision leads to a certain beautification and harmony in your environment. If there is no harmony, you can't trust. If things are not geometrically precise and in their proper place, you can't have the freedom and the play that you have right now. If something is very stable and in its proper precise place, then you can trust this thing and play around like a child. So many people in the spiritual circles have this thing with, do I have to control or not? Do I need to control things or let them be? The ultimate control, if you control something properly and you manage it correctly, leads to a certain level of freedom, and you can play, you're like a child again. And this may take a bit of time. It's like everything. When you learn something, when you try to learn something new, for example, you learn to walk, it may take some time, it may take some tries, falling and getting back up. But when you get the hang of it, when you learn to walk, then to run, to do other stuff, it becomes way easier. It's the same thing with these two binaries, those two seemingly opposite poles. Control or letting go of control. You need to master something to control it in such extent that it becomes second nature to you. Then you can let it go. It will run by itself in a certain way. So if you have something that runs by itself, like truth, it's constant, always there. You can let go, you can relax in the truth. There are no opposites. You need the best of both worlds. Many people think they need to choose between material and immaterial. This way of thinking leads to a lot of conflict and guilt and self-sabotage that needs not to be there. Even if you are into more abstract things, philosophy, spirituality, etc., you have a material counterpart. You need to eat, So there is this perspective of society that it's either this or that one. Like the assumption that you need to choose. Do I have to choose nature? Do I have to choose a city? And in this kind of thinking, like the good people are the yoga city people that only do good and they never bark, they never, get angry or whatever. And there are the bad people who live in, like, they care only about money and buildings and luxury, or not luxury, like things, clothes, etc. And there is this quite subtle perspective that You need to choose between those evil, in quotes, and good people or lifestyles. The answer to this is both. You don't have to choose. It's not because whenever you polarize yourself and you say only going to stay in nature, or I'm only going to stay in the city, or I'm only going to focus on money, or on not money, on material stuff, making just making it in a societal context, or whenever you get polarized, you try to move your pendulum only to one of the two sides, you get more of the opposite. Have you noticed that? If you There are a lot of comforts of city that you cannot find in nature, and there are a lot of pleasures in nature that you cannot find in a city. So the answer is, of course, both. Sometimes nature, sometimes the city. That's what everyone wants. If you if you choose anything, you'll have a negative result, because that's not how the world works. If you don't be negative, in a sense, sometimes you can't defend yourself, and people may exploit that. And if you're only negative, you'll also get the issues and the problems that comes with that. So there is a time for everything and a place for everything. And to remove this guilt from inside you, the answer is, don't choose, combine both. You don't have to be only spiritual, you can be also material. I mean, not material in the sense, you can also get pleasures, but not only pleasures. You don't have to choose the one or the other. Do your purpose, but also indulge a bit in the world. Be with what this is, the physical being also. That will solve a lot of issues. You have to evolve as a person.